So folks, let's talk about some big news and rumors coming from Warner Bros. About James Gunn's upcoming Superman movie and the Snyder'S. There's been a lot of chatter, so let's break it all down step by step and explain what's going on. There's a rumor going around that WB held a test screen for James Gunn's Superman movie and it didn't go well at all. According to this rumor, this movie was such a disappointment that WB executive were outraged. Supposedly, one of the higher-ups even stood up and demanded that Zack Snyder and Henry Cavill come back to restore Snyder'S. This means bringing back Snyder's darker tone and Henry Cavill as Superman. One of quote from the supposed meeting is being shared online. The Gunn wears flop to restore the Snyder'S. Pretty dramatic, right? Now the story comes from a source called Den of Nerds. They've been known to share rumors like this before, so keep that in mind. They are not exactly the most reliable when it comes to scoops. In fact, James Gunn himself called them out in the past for spreading false information. Here's some background. A couple of years ago, James Gunn completely embraced Den of Nerds online. At the time, they were spreading lies manifestation about him, painting him as some sort of villain. Gunn wasn't having it. He fired back on social media, shutting down the false claims with the actual facts. So when this new rumor popped up about the Superman Legacy test screen being disaster, a lot of people were skeptical. Some fans and insiders think Den of Nerds might just be making things up again, especially since no other trusted sources have backed up the claim. Let's think about this. WWE exclusive are in charge of huge decision movies marketing toys. These are serious professionals, not the random fans yelling about the Snyder'S. The idea that they would stand up during a meeting and shout, "Bring back Snyder'S," feels a little bit far-fetched. Big studios like WB don't work that way. They plan long-term strategies, not emotional reactions. Also, James Gunn is currently the head of DC studio, alongside Peter Safran, being tasked with rebooting the DC universe and creating a fresh slate of films. Bring back Snyder'S would completely go against the new direction they've been building. The truth is, Superman Legacy is still in development, and the first screening, if they even happen, are just one small step in the process. Test screenings are common for big movies, and not all feedbacks is final. The studio often use them to make things fix pacing or tweak the tone before the film's release. As for the Snyder'S, Zack Snyder has moved on to other projects like Rebel Moon on Netflix. Henry Cavill is also busy with other roles like The Witcher before stepping down, of course, and Warhammer 40,000. While some fans still hope for their return, it's clear that they will be focusing on James Gunn's new vision for DC. Let's switch gears and talk about Snyder'S itself. Back when Zack Snyder was working on DCU, there were a lot of changes and writes. One of the original writers, Bill, recently shared details about his early draft for Justice League, which is interesting. Bill was hired in 2011 to write a version of Justice League that would follow Man of Steel and Green Lantern. His story had some similarities to what Snyder's eventually did, but with the major differences. For example, draft had the Liga traveling through time with events that the past affecting the future. It was more complex storyline, changes ripping across timeline. The main villain Darkseid also, and his apocalypse invasion were part of Bill's script. This idea made it into Zack Snyder's final cut Justice League. And about the next, remember the nightmare scene in the Snyder's vision? Those came from Bill's original idea. Bill's script wasn't fully used, by elements that was in the script were carried over when Zack Snyder took over. Interestingly, this shows how Hollywood works. Different writers and direction often build on each other's idea even if they don't work directly together. Bill's original vision for Justice League would have been very different from what we got. It was meant to be follow Green Lantern and connect directly to Man of Steel. At one point, there were plans to have Superman cameo at the end of Green Lantern, but that never happened. Instead, that will be shifted gears and Snyder version of DCEU became the focus. If Bill's draft had been fully developed, we might have seen Justice League movie that felt more like a time travel epic with the heroes consistently shifting between the past and future. It's fascinating to think about how different the DCU could have been. So, about the whole thing, to wrap it up, is the rumor about Superman movie being a disaster true? Probably not. It's more likely just another attempt to stir up drama and get click. James Gunn is a talented filmmaker, and while his Superman movie might not please everyone, it's too early to judge. As for Snyder'S, it's clear that WB has moved on. Fans can still enjoy what Zack Snyder created, but the future of DC is heading a new direction. Whether that's good or bad thing will depend on how well Gunn and his team deliver on their promises. That was today's video. I hope you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. And if I didn't mention anything that was part of the topic that I talked about today, I'll be happy to hear it from you in the comments. See you next time.
What is that?
1300 AD, they called this man the hero from the sky. He was prophesied to have destroyed the evil